You walked away from that conversation with a pit in your stomach, heart slightly off, a quiet, creeping feeling that you said too much, way too much. And the thing that should terrify you, you can't remember them asking a single question. No interrogation, no pressure. You just talked voluntarily, like you handed them everything and held the door open on the way out. That wasn't a conversation. That was an extraction, a technique used by intelligence agencies for decades, and most people don't even know it exists. Here's what nobody tells you. The questions aren't the weapon, the statements are. By the end, you'll understand exactly how this works. You'll never be on the wrong end of it again, and you'll be able to use it yourself. But the worst part, this probably isn't the first time it's happened to you. You've had conversations that felt completely normal, and then later realized you said a lot more than you meant to. That's not an accident. It's not a mind trick. There's a method behind it. And it works because your brain runs two completely different operating systems in conversation. The first activates the moment someone asks you a direct question. A security guard steps in front of your mouth. He screens everything, filters it, edits it, decides what gets out and what stays locked. You become careful, measured, guarded. The second activates when someone makes a statement. No question, no filter. The security guard clocks out, goes home, and your brain, without you realizing it, steps forward to respond. That's the gap, and trained professionals exploit it every time. Think about the last time someone told you something slightly off about your work, your field, your area of expertise. You didn't pause and think, should I respond? You corrected them, automatically, before your brain even ran the calculation. That's not weakness. That's how your brain is wired in conversation. And anyone who understands it can use it against you in real time, using just two techniques and a single enhancement. The first technique is called elicitation. The reason it's dangerous is because it doesn't feel like an interrogation. It feels like conversation. Instead of asking, "What do you think about X?" you say, "I read that X is the biggest problem in your industry right now." The other person's brain cannot let that sit. There's a psychological principle at work called the need to correct. Inaccurate information sitting unaddressed creates a kind of mental friction, and the brain feels a strong desire to relieve it. They will confirm it, correct it, or defend against it. All three responses give you exactly what you are after. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Marcus is a mid-level manager, sharp guy, careful. He's been burned before, said too much in a meeting, watched it get used against him. He thinks he's guarded now. He's at dinner with a colleague he doesn't fully trust. And the colleague, who has run this before, says casually, "I read that people in your division are getting absolutely crushed right now. Workload must be insane." Marcus doesn't think, he reacts. It's not the workload. That's actually manageable. It's the reorganization. Nobody knows what their role is anymore, and leadership keeps changing the mandate every 6 weeks. He catches himself, maybe 4 or 5 seconds later, but the extraction is already done. The colleague didn't ask a single thing. Marcus volunteered the internal dysfunction, the leadership instability, and the structural chaos of his entire division, because his brain could not leave an inaccurate statement sitting on the table uncorrected. The security guard never showed up. Marcus didn't feel interrogated. He felt like he was setting the record straight. That's elicitation running clean. Here's the version you might recognize from a conference room. You want to know if a competitor's product launch is struggling. You ask, "How are sales?" The guard shows up immediately. "Sales are great, thanks." Full stop. Instead, you say, "Man, I heard supply chain issues are absolutely crushing rollouts in your sector right now." They respond, "Actually, our supply chain is completely fine. The real issue is the marketing spend isn't converting." Boom. You didn't ask. They told you. One statement. The security guard never got out of his chair. That's the first technique, but the second tool sharpens the blade even further. It's called the provocative guess. Instead of making a factual statement, you guess out loud. Deliberately. You guess low, or you guess wrong. And let the other person's need to correct do the work. This is one of the easiest ways to get the truth out of someone without asking a single question. Because the moment you guess wrong, most people feel an almost automatic urge to fix it. You want to know someone's real budget in a negotiation. Ask directly, and the guard shows up. They give you the safe number. But if you use this technique, they'll tell you the real number themselves, and they won't even realize you made it happen. Here's how it works. Instead of asking, you lean back and say, based on the scope of what you've described, it sounds like you guys have about $10,000 allocated for this. Are you sure that's going to be enough? If their real number is $50,000, their ego and their need to correct that inaccuracy will force the correction. No, we've got significantly more than that. The budget is closer to, and they fill in the blank you left open on purpose. You didn't extract that. Their own brain handed it over. The provocative guess works because people cannot let themselves be underestimated in silence. Being misread feels like being disrespected, and the instinct to correct that disrespect overrides the instinct to guard the information. Almost every time. Guess wrong? Strategically. Let the correction carry the truth to you. Now here's where most people leave money, or, in this case, information, on the table. The enhancement. Once the other person starts talking, stop. Don't fill the silence. Don't interrupt. This is the hardest part because silence feels like failure. It feels like the conversation dying, and it's your job to revive it. It's not dying. It's working. Here's the exact move. Reflect the last few words they said. Back to them. Then say nothing. They say, yeah, the rollout has been more complicated than we expected. You say, more complicated than expected? Then, nothing. Their brain reads that silence as pressure, not emptiness, and the average person, wired to react, wired to fill every gap, will keep talking to relieve it. They'll add detail. They'll explain context they didn't plan to share. They'll go deeper than they intended. Most people treat silence as dead air. Exceptional communicators treat it as a vice grip. The person who can hold silence after a reflection isn't just listening. They're pulling, and the other person gives without ever feeling the pressure. Now here's the part most people never learn, the counter. These techniques work on everyone, which means they've worked on you. Every time someone made a statement and you rushed to correct the record, that was elicitation. Each time someone guessed wrong and you felt the pull to set them straight, that was a provocative guess, landing exactly as designed. Whenever someone stayed silent and you filled the void with more than you wanted to say, that was the enhancement. Go back to Marcus. Dinner's over. He's driving home, replaying the conversation. He didn't feel interrogated. He felt like he was finally talking to someone who got it. Someone who understood the real situation. That's not an accident. That's the design. The counter isn't complicated, but it requires something most people haven't developed. You slow down. 2 seconds. Before you respond to a statement, any statement, you pause. Not because you're being evasive, because in those 2 seconds, you can catch the mechanism firing inside you, the urge rising, the correction forming, and the moment you feel it forming, you can choose whether to release it or hold it. That 2-second pause does double duty. It gives you decision-making space about what actually leaves your mouth, and it signals something to every person watching. This is not someone who reacts on cue. This is someone who decides. Most people talk automatically. The moment something is said, they react. They correct. They explain. They fill the silence. And every time they do, they give away control. The people who are hardest to read don't react automatically. They notice the urge, and they decide whether to speak. That one change does something most people never experience. Conversations stop feeling random. People stop being able to pull things out of you. And the moment someone tries to run one of these techniques on you, you see it happening in real time. You'll recognize the statement that's probing. You'll feel the provocative guess land. You'll notice the silence being held on purpose. And once you see it, the power shifts. Conversations stop happening to you and start happening because of you. What you know now isn't just a communication skill, it's the difference between people who get controlled and people who control the room. If you want to see another technique like this, watch 5 Questions Liars Always Ask, and subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this every week. Now go out and stop asking questions, and start finding out what you really want to know.